You have probably felt it, that strange moment when everyone around you is laughing, talking, enjoying, and you are just sitting there, quiet. Not because you have nothing to say, but because your mind is already 10 steps ahead. You notice things others don't. You think about things they never question, and sometimes it makes you feel out of place, like maybe something is wrong with you. But what if that feeling is not a weakness? What if it is a sign that you are actually smarter than you think? Picture this. You are with your friends. They are arguing about something simple, maybe a movie, maybe a person, maybe a random opinion. The conversation gets loud. Everyone is trying to prove they are right. And you stay quiet. Not because you do not have thoughts, but because you can already see both sides. You understand why one person feels hurt and why the other is reacting that way. You see the deeper layer, the hidden emotions behind the words, and suddenly, the argument feels pointless, so you just listen. Most people think intelligence means talking more, being louder, winning arguments. But real intelligence often looks like silence. Because when your mind is sharp, you do not react instantly. You observe, you analyze, you connect dots that others do not even see. And that is your first sign. You do not jump into every conversation because you are already thinking beyond it. Now here is something strange. Have you ever felt mentally tired around people? Not physically, but emotionally drained. Like after hanging out, you just want to be alone. That is not arrogance. That is not you being antisocial. That is your brain processing too much. You pick up on tone, energy, small changes in behavior. You read between the lines. While others hear words, you feel intentions. And that constant awareness? It exhausts you. Pause for a second. Think about the last time you felt drained around people. Was it really because you do not like them? Or because you were silently observing everything they were not noticing? Here is another sign no one talks about. You overthink. Yeah, I know. You have probably been told that is a bad thing. Stop overthinking. Just relax. Do not think too much. But what if I told you that overthinking is not always a flaw? Sometimes it is a sign of depth. Your mind does not accept things at the surface level. It questions, it explores, it replays situations, not to torture you, but to understand them better. You do not just live experiences, you analyze them. And yes, sometimes it hurts, because the deeper you think, the more you realize things others ignore. Like noticing fake behavior, you can tell when someone is pretending, when a smile is not real, when words do not match actions. And here is the hard part. You cannot unsee it. Once you notice, it sticks. So while others trust easily, you hesitate, not because you are negative, but because you see patterns. Let me ask you something. How many times have you stayed silent even when you knew you were right? Not because you were scared, but because you knew that explaining it would be pointless. That is another sign. You have realized that not every truth needs to be spoken. Not every argument needs to be won. Because intelligence is not about proving others wrong, it is about choosing where your energy goes. But here is where it gets heavy. Being more aware, more thoughtful, more observant, it can make you feel lonely. You start noticing the gap, the difference between how deeply you think and how lightly others take things. You crave meaningful conversations but end up surrounded by small talk. You want connection but often feel misunderstood. And sometimes you question yourself. Why can't I just be like them? Why do I think so much? Why does everything feel so intense? Here is the truth most people will not tell you. It is not that you do not fit in. It is that you see beyond what most people are comfortable seeing. And that kind of awareness, it separates you. Not in a superior way, but in a different way. Real intelligence is not loud. It does not need validation. It does not chase attention. It is quiet. It is observant. It is patient. It is the ability to understand without reacting, to feel without being controlled, to think without needing approval. But there is a twist, and this is important. Being smarter than your friends does not mean you are better than them. It means you have a responsibility to not isolate yourself, a responsibility to not look down on others, a responsibility to stay grounded. Because intelligence without humility becomes ego, And ego destroys connection. So instead of asking, why am I different, maybe ask, how can I use this difference wisely? Pause again. Think about this carefully. Are you using your awareness to grow or to disconnect from people? Because the goal is not to be the smartest person in the room. The goal is to understand yourself without losing your ability to connect with others. At the end of the day, if you find yourself thinking deeper, feeling more, observing quietly, if you often feel out of place but strangely aware, there is a high chance you are not behind in life. You are just seeing it differently. And maybe, just maybe, that is your strength, not your weakness.